Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna explore the life of a person who absolutely should not have been in charge. So who was the worst ruler in history? There are a lot of contenders, tyrants, despots, and some plain old clueless monarchs. But one name keeps popping up. Emperor Nero of Rome. This guy was so bad at ruling that he managed to turn one of the most powerful empires in history into his own personal dumpster fire. Buckle up, because this is gonna be a wild ride. Alright, let's set the stage. Nero was born in 37 AD into one of the most chaotic family trees in history. His mom, Agrippina the Younger, was basically the original stage mom, scheming her way into getting Nero adopted by her uncle, Emperor Claudius. When Claudius conveniently died, probably poisoned by Agrippina, Nero became the emperor at the tender age of 16. Yeah, they handed the whole Roman Empire to a teenager. What could possibly go wrong? At first, Nero wasn't completely terrible. He had good advisors like Seneca, who probably spent a lot of time facepalming at Nero's antics. But it didn't take long for Nero's true colors to shine. By true colors, I mean his knack for excessive spending, unchecked ego, and love of drama that made Shakespeare look like a casual playwright. So what makes Nero such a legendary disaster? Let's run through some of his greatest hits. Ah yes, the moment that cemented Nero's place in the Bad Ruler Hall of Fame. In 64 AD, a massive fire broke out in Rome and burned for 6 whole days. Rumor has it that while the city was engulfed in flames, Nero was chilling on his palace balcony playing the lyre, basically turning a tragedy into his personal concert. Now, did Nero actually fiddle while Rome burned? Probably not. Violins didn't exist yet. But the point is, he didn't exactly win Roman Emperor of the Year, even though there wasn't anyone else to win it. To make matters worse, he allegedly used the fire as an excuse to rebuild Rome in his own image, complete with a massive golden palace. And when people started asking too many questions, Nero conveniently blamed it on the Christians, kicking off a wave of brutal persecutions. Classic Nero. If you thought your family was dysfunctional, let me introduce you to Nero's. First, he had his own mom killed. That's right, Agrippina, the woman who basically handed him the empire, got axed, or more appropriately stabbed, when Nero decided she was cramping his style. Then there's his first wife, Octavia, whom he divorced and then later executed. Oh, and let's not forget his second wife, Poppaea, who died after Nero allegedly kicked her while being pregnant. Yikes, this guy wasn't just bad at ruling, he was bad at being a human. Nero fancied himself an artist, which is fine, except he was the Emperor of Rome. Instead of, running an empire, he spent his time performing in public, singing, acting, and even competing in chariot races. Imagine your boss skipping work to live out their dream of being a TikTok influencer. Yeah, that's Nero, basically. And because he was the emperor, no one could boo him. Everyone had to pretend he was the greatest performer of all time, even if it was painfully obvious he wasn't. Running an empire is expensive, and Nero was not great with money. Luckily for him, credit cards hadn't been invented yet, so he couldn't be in $16,000 of credit card debt like me. Between his lavish parties, over-the-top construction projects, and obsession with the arts, the treasury was bleeding gold. His solution? Raise taxes and confiscate property from the wealthy. This didn't exactly make him hip with the kids. In fact, by the end of his reign, Rome's economy was in shambles, and Nero's approval rating was lower than my self-esteem. By 68 AD, pretty much everyone was over Nero's silliness. The Senate, the military, and the people of Rome were just done putting up with his tomfoolery. Rebellions started popping up, and Nero quickly realized he wasn't going to win a popularity contest anytime soon. In a desperate attempt to flee, he tried hiding out in a villa, but when the Senate declared him a public enemy, he knew the jig was up. So instead of squaring up against all of Rome, he decided to take matters into his own hands. In a final act of drama, he had his secretary help disconnect him from the server of life, reportedly saying, "What an artist dies inside me." Kind of a freaky artist, if we're being honest. And just like that, Nero's reign of terror was over. Rome probably breathed a collective sigh of relief. Now, some historians argue that Nero wasn't as bad as his reputation suggests. Sure, he had some wins like banning capital punishment and promoting arts and culture. But let's be real. When your greatest accomplishments are overshadowed by arson of an entire city, not to mention, offing your mom, and fiscal irresponsibility, you don't exactly get a 5-star Yelp review. Nero's reign marked the beginning of the end for the Julio-Claudian dynasty, and his name has been synonymous with bad leadership ever since. However, let's take a quick look at the competition for Nero's Worst Ruler title. First, we have Caligula, the Roman emperor who allegedly tried to make his horse a senator. Enough said. Then we have Ivan the Terrible. This guy wasn't nicknamed the Terrible for nothing. And Leopold II of Belgium. His reign over the Congo Free State was so brutal it's almost hard to believe. And finally, King John of England. The guy who was so bad his barons forced him to sign the Magna Carta. But Nero, he's in a league of his own. So, was Nero the worst ruler in history? Honestly, he's got a strong case. Between the offing sprees, the economic disasters, and the complete lack of focus on actual governance, he's a blueprint for what not to do as a leader. If nothing else, Nero's reign serves as a reminder that giving absolute power to a dramatic teenager is never a good idea. Thank you for watching till the end.